The whole world wants to erase mankind. That's somehow the other way it's going on, and the technology is going to take over. But at the same time, everything is works on a certain level of instruction, which I told you earlier. You see, if they try to make all of this, when you try to eradicate emotions and feelings that you have, that AI do not have, then in that case, you're living on a very pragmatic world. You're getting into an alienated in a world that you're living in which you do not want to live. No matter what, no matter what you go through or what you achieve, end of the day, everybody needs a hug in which AI can't give. Right. So that's what makes human more distinctive. That's why AI can never, it's a learned mechanism, runs on a learned data, whether given data or a proven data, but it can never take over your emotions and feelings and inspiration that what we obtain from each other. The whole functionality of the whole world is functioning, or any headquarters, a government body, you talk about any offices are functioning on a certain level of inspiration that they have. I want to become like him. I want to achieve like him. I want to dress like him. Can AI give you all of that?
No.
Yeah, so it needs a certain level of to be a human to live like that, because you live in a certain world that requires all of that. If the world is trying to remove all of that, you will reach a certain saturation point which you no longer cannot function. It becomes robotic, which is wrong.
Elon Musk has Starlink, which is SpaceX, which just done 1.5 million in customers. Starlink is basically the satellite that provides Wi-Fi to locations which cannot, like far away, let's say Antarctica or mountain hills, and they just reached 1.5 million customers. And he is doing Neuralink, he's doing Starlink, he is making electric vehicles, he is making solar panels, he bought an entire platform which was corrupted with no free speech or corrupted with propaganda, and made it into a total free speech platform. He is doing a lot for the for a billionaire. He is doing a lot for the community and the future of the community.
I'll tell you the secret of him. That's one man that when I first heard him, he said, I want to die in Mars. Yeah. So when you're talking to a person who have that kind of mindset, is can only achieve this kind of propensity in terms of achievement. So that's what the whole world looks up to. But at the same time, one of the wise men said this. He said, creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God, which means, in other words, the whole creation of the world is waiting for the right person to manage all of this. So what he's doing is he's taken, because if he wants to die on Mars, he's taken a certain limitation of his mindset. And the kind of wealth that he has and the money that he has and the mind that he is trying to prove the world nothing is impossible. Yeah. That's what he's trying to prove the world, and he wants to achieve that. That's why it's a fantastic idea of having a Starlink around the world. Because who have thought that you can have, because many people say there's no tower, there's no signal, there is this and there's that. Things have not worked for them. But can you believe today the Amazon forest, you can function Starlink. It's a brilliant strategy by having a space, but he owns. But imagine people who are trying to build in space. He owns properties in space.
And when you look at his portfolio, everything that he does has a certain kind of future planning to it. Like everything that he does, let's say Tesla cars, which has electric vehicles, sustainability. When you talk about solar panels, you talk about open AI even, the thing he's invested in. Everything that he does has some kind of future.
Yeah. See, what happens is if you're not futuristic, you would be eliminated from the existing. You would become history if you don't have a future.
Yeah, and he get a lot of hate too for it, like for the way he speaks, for the things that he say, because he wants to be a kind of a person who says what he thinks, and not many billionaires or millionaires would love to do that. And what he said in a recent interview is that if I lose some money because of the things that I've said, I'm okay with it.
You see, that's somebody who believes, we spoke much earlier on that, who somebody's signature is, and he lives up to it. And that's what he defined himself to be, a genius, an absolute genius. And he has proven the world wrong. What people who had money, like Bill Gates, people who had the richest wealth in the world, Like we talk about the kings, we talk about the treasures, people who are holding on would not able to think. But the guy is different because he's thinks and he's a genius. That's why he proved everybody wrong by investing time. This does not, Tesla was not built in overnight. SpaceX was not built in overnight. Neuralink was not overnight. We are the only generation, I think, we saw the 80s, 90s, and 2002K. People of a kind of a generation shift. But we saw the transcendence of where we are today and what people have adapted today is completely different from what we used to function. The information is all over the place. Everybody's running on this information they haven't had. Nobody thinks. The world wants to give you information and you need to run with it. It's avoiding people not to think.
Yeah, we need to give him flowers for the things that he's doing. People in his level, people like, let's say, take the list, Warren Buffett or the CEO of Oracle, not sure what his name is, or even Bill Gates, haven't done things that how he is doing it. Yes, Bill Gates have the Melinda and Bill's Melinda's foundation, but yeah, while they are building toilet across the world, he is trying to build a toilet across the planet. And
yeah, you see now who will go there? But the question is, but he's also making civilization there. Somebody was thought to create a civilization. That's why you see people are. We began by talking about people who think outside their capacity. So we're talking about some of the few geniuses of the world, and America need to protect Elon Musk for what of the because he's a kind of a national treasure for them. But each country's importance is to protect the national treasure and to see how we could develop things and invest on them. But very few countries does it. Very, very few countries does it. Particularly America has been pioneer in that. An industrial giant was protecting a lot of SMEs. Okay, why can't you create a brand like Google? Why can't you create a brand like Facebook? Can you? Let's come up with a new idea. Because they own the space, they own the time, because that's what makes them unique. That's what makes them powerful. Because the policies there and the structure there are aligned to a certain capacity where you can be successful only there. And they invest a lot on you. And even the people's mindset works exactly the way what you were. Yes, of course, there are challenges. But you see, he stood out. Why can't he be successful in South Africa when his generation was in South Africa, Elon Musk? Why can't he be successful in another part of the world? No. It takes a certain level for you to position according to your environment in order for you to be successful, in which America time and time proved that their support is always, yes, there's a lot of democracy and there's a lot of democracy issues and capitalism issues and all of that is there. But at the same time, the way it is extremely institutional, America is extremely institutional to defend, protect, sustain, and guard. You talk whatever in terms of education, they would be in talk about research. They are advanced than any part of the world. That's why they're known as superpower. And that's where the whole world looks up to them.
Other countries looking up to America is a different topic, and I have some opinions on it, but we will discuss it on another episode.